Stacy, and welcome to Aunt's Table for Two. This cooking show features quick and easy 2-serving recipes. Now, if you're looking for a gourmet cooking show, this is not it. You're in the wrong place. But if you love food that's full of flavor and quick and easy to prepare without using exotic ingredients, then you're going to love this program, even if you cook for more than 2 people. So stay tuned. I got a great show for you today. Thank you. We're going south of the border today. I'll begin with a tasty but simple taco dip with a thirst-quenching non-alcoholic lime cooler. Then I'll prepare my Spanish flounder, a wonderful skillet dish that even the non-fish lover will enjoy. And I'll end this meal with warm butter rum bananas over creamy vanilla ice cream. I'm going to start out by preparing my rice for my Spanish rice flounder. And what I have in here is I have 2 teaspoons of canola oil. What I'm going to add to that is 1 cup of salsa. Now you can use any kind of salsa that you like. I like the mild because I don't like things that are too hot and spicy, but if you want to use medium or hot or extra hot, go for it. And I've got this on high for the moment. I'm waiting for it to come to a sizzle, but it doesn't matter. I mean, you just pour all these things in together. Then I've got a cup and 3/4 of water. What I'm going to put in here is a package of Spanish rice mix. This is a 5.6 ounce package. Already prepared, all of the seasonings are in it. It's all you need. And you just take it and pour it into this. I like to find these things. This is an old recipe. When I mean old, I mean I can remember making it for my grandmother, and my grandmother passed away in 1992, so I've had this recipe for a while. So we're just going to wait and bring this to a boil, and it may take a couple seconds, but won't take a couple seconds for you. So we're going to wait and cover that and bring that to a boil. All right, my rice is coming to a boil. I'm just going to give it a little bit of a stir. It smells good already. It's because the spices and seasonings are already there. I'm going to cover it and I'm going to let it cook for 10 minutes. I'm going to turn it down to low, medium low, and just let it simmer for about 10 minutes. While that's simmering, I'm going to make my taco dip. Now, I really think that you've all seen this before, but I kind of want to show you how to do it for 2 people. What I have is 2 ounces of cream cheese, and I'm using regular cream cheese. You can use light cream cheese or regular. Again, I don't recommend the fat-free cream cheese. Fat-free cream cheese has like a chalky taste to it. And no, I haven't been eating any chalk, but it does have a chalky taste to it. Now, I want to show you. I bought a 3-ounce package of cream cheese, and I just took 2 ounces off. Now, what I'll do with this tomorrow is I will take this and I'll put maybe about half to a teaspoon of horseradish with it and mix it up good and put it on either celery or use it with crackers or maybe just some carrot sticks or something. But we're going to put that in the refrigerator and we're going to keep this for tomorrow. So, or you can just buy a regular block, which is actually less expensive, of an 8-ounce cream cheese package if you have something to use the cream cheese for in another recipe. Now, I've had this out because you want this to be room temperature, and this is pretty good. I'm going to add a tablespoon of sour cream, and again, this is light sour cream, and if you don't have sour cream, you can use milk. I only have 1% milk in my kitchen. I never have whole milk. I never have skim milk. I use 1% milk for everything. So I'm just going to kind of mix that up a little bit. And then I have 2 tablespoons of shredded cheddar cheese. If you'd like to use Monterey Jack or any other kind, some kind of a Mexican blend, you can do that. That would be okay. And there we go. And I just mix this. I'm going to use a fork for part of this to mash it up really good. Actually, what I usually do is put this on a salad plate or a dinner plate. Sometimes a flat surface is easier to mix this with. I think you'll notice if you've seen some of my shows before that I kind of like a Mexican flavor without the hot and spiciness. All right, I'm going to put a half a teaspoon of taco seasoning mix in this. This is dry taco seasoning mix. Now, this is one of my claims to fame for cooking for 2 people. This is a package of taco seasoning mix that is meant to be used for a whole family. I usually take it out of the package, put it in a recycled jelly jar, a clean, dry, recycled jelly jar, and I use it by the teaspoon, tablespoon, whatever I need. And it's just all the spices. I don't have to be putting in, you know, a quarter of a teaspoon of this or a pinch of that. It's all there. Okay, now I'm going to mix this up good. All right, we're good. Now, I like to use a fork and a spatula for this because it just seems to work best. All right, now I'm going to put these aside for a second. I'm taking a small salad plate, and I'm going to put it right in the middle, plop it right down there. Very good. And I'm just going to bring it out to the edges so it's about maybe a quarter of an inch thick, or thereabouts. You don't have to be too fussy about this. Just kind of bring it out around the edges. Because again, we're going for some presentation. I always try to remember that if anybody's watching and they're inviting a date over, that you want it to look good so that you can impress them. That impressed my husband, by the way. Not the only reason why he married me. I've known my husband a long time. Long time. Okay, so we got it out to the edges there a little bit. You know what? I'm going to bring it out just a bit more. And I don't want to lose any of this because it's another bite. God forbid I should lose a bite. Then I'm going to take, this is just 3 tablespoons of salsa. And you know I drained it, but I'm going to drain it a little more. And just put it right on the top and bring it out to the edges. Here we go. Okay. And this is mild salsa again. Then I'm going to take just a little bit of maybe about 2 tablespoons, a tablespoon, just enough of the scallions, just to make it look pretty, and a few Kalamata olives, or you can use regular olives. I'm a big fan of Kalamata olives because I like salt. And there we have it. We have our taco dip. I'm going to put it in the middle of a plate. This is a little, actually it's a charger, it's a wicker charger. I'll put it right here. And I'm going to take some, these are organic blue corn chips. Now you don't have to use blue corn chips, you can use regular corn chips, multi-grain, whatever. I happen to like the color of this. I think it looks, and you notice I used the yellow napkin, so it's, I love color, I love contrast. I like to eat, but I do like it to look good. And as I've said before, it has to be quick and easy to prepare, it has to look good, and it has to taste good, and if it's not all of those, then somebody else is going to make it for me. Okay, here we go. Now the way I've got this in here so it doesn't fall off the plate, I'm going to do it in just a little U. Very good. Look at how pretty that is. Just a lovely little, okay. I'm going to put that aside for just a second because now I'm going to make my non-alcoholic lime cooler. And as you know, in my cookbook, I have nothing but non-alcoholic cocktails, beverages. And the reason for that is because I have friends and relatives who they can't drink or they don't want to drink. And my mother-in-law, she's so cute. You just get my bucket eyes here. My mother-in-law can't drink because she's on some medications, and sometimes my mother is not able to, although my mother likes a little cocktail like I do. But I had them over here one day for Mother's Day, and my mother-in-law really felt like she was like a part of us because she had a little martini glass, and I made her some. I think I made her my cranberry martini, my cranberry mock-tini that day. But sometimes if you're in with another crowd and you can't drink and you don't want to drink, you don't want to look there, you know, have a glass of water with you. If you're sometimes holding a martini glass or a glass that looks like it's a cocktail, it just makes you feel better. See, you don't have to have the alcohol. Now this drink is very simple. I'm starting out with a 12-ounce can of lemon lime seltzer water. Now, my cookbook recipe will tell you to use lemon lime soda, which of course is sweetened and this is not. I don't like really sicky sweets, so today I'm doing just the lemon lime seltzer water because my sweetness is going to come from my Rose's lime juice. And I want to use a quarter of a cup of this. And that's it. The Rose's lime juice has like a bitter, but a nice sour, bitter, sweet taste, and it just, I love it in any kind of I like to have it with any kind of a cranberry drink, or sometimes I'll just have it with just tonic water and Rose's lime juice. Give that a little stir. Let me get my glasses. Get everything nice and frosted today. Love frosted. Okay, now I'm going to put a little lime on the side. I think I'll put a couple of limes on the side. Like that. And I've got my lemon lime cooler. And there we go. Look at how nice and refreshing that looks. Again, nobody says that you have to have an alcoholic drink in order to enjoy having a cocktail. My ice is really like stuck to the glass. If you want to put a straw in it, you can. I like drinking out of a straw. And there you have it. Nice little lemon lime cooler. Oh, that's perfect. Try a little bit of my taco dip here. Just see if you can see this. I feel like I'm in the Caribbean. Yeah, south of the border. My rice has been boiling up here for 10 minutes, so come back and I'm going to show you how to make my Spanish flounder. I'll be right back. Okay, my rice has been simmering for 10 minutes and I gave it a little bit of a stir, and we're going to let it simmer there for just a couple of seconds while I prepare the fish. Now what I have here is flounder. There's 6 pieces and it comes to about 3/4 of a pound, which is just enough for 2 people. Now you can use a different type of fish, a nice a light white fish like a tilapia is a good thing too. I like the flounder because the flounder is thin and it rolls nicely, and it's a very light tasting fish. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll it starting from the small end. And if you want to, you can season this with salt and pepper first, but there's enough salt in the rice mixture that I don't usually do that. So just going to roll it up tightly. And it doesn't matter if it's real wet. Sometimes if you're going to saute or fry fish or bread it, sometimes you want to pat it dry with a paper towel. You don't need to do it with this because it's going to go on something wet anyway. So we're just going to roll this up tightly. Oops, and it unrolled. Well, you know, again, another story from my chefography when I'm on the Food Network. All right, this is very wet, but you see how thin this is? 3 pieces. This is, if it's 3/4 of a pound, you're going to end up with 6 ounces each. You could do a little bit more if you felt like you needed it. I found that this is just enough for the 2 people. And sometimes I'm tempted to salt and pepper it, but I'm a bad girl when it comes to salt. I love my salt. So I try to just cut down anywhere I can. All right, so we're going to move this over here. And I'm just going to, my rice is cooking up nice. The rice is not totally cooked yet, but the fish has to cook anyway. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to place my little fish rolls on top of my rice. Here we go. And I'm going to cover it, and we're going to let that simmer for, it's about medium high. I'm going to let that simmer for 10 to 15 minutes until the fish is cooked. Let me just wash my hands a second, because what I'm going to do, I don't want any fish in my salad dressing. So I'm going to make my Fiesta salad dressing for my Fiesta salad. And what I've got is I've got 2 tablespoons of sour cream and 2 tablespoons of mayonnaise, 1/4 cup of salsa, and a teaspoon of taco seasoning, again with my taco seasoning, like taco seasoning. So I'm going to take my teaspoon of taco seasoning. Now, if you wanted to, you could use a 1/4 cup of mayonnaise or a 1/4 cup of sour cream. I happen to have sour cream, so I like to mix them if I have them both. So that mayonnaise, and this is light mayonnaise. I only have light mayonnaise in my refrigerator. And we're going to do the salsa. And just give that a stir. And there we go. It's a nice thick dressing. There we go. It's kind of, there we go. Perfect. And I'm just going to put that in the refrigerator until we're ready to serve our meal, and I'll be right back, and our fish will be done by then, and I'll show you how to plate it up. It's really good. See you in a minute. Okay, my fish is all cooked. It's been simmering again for another 15 minutes on about medium high. I keep checking it. Now I'm going to take some cheddar cheese, and again, you can use Monterey Jack cheese. I like a nice cheddar cheese that's a real sharp cheddar cheese. So I'm going to kind of put a lot of this on because I love cheese. And yeah, maybe a 1/2 cup, 3/4, well, not 3/4 of a cup, about a 1/2 cup of cheddar, as much as you want. All right, now I'm going to put the cover back on because it's done. It simmered for 10 minutes, and then I stirred it, and then I put the fish back on, arranged the fish on it, and then I simmered it for another 10 to 15 minutes just until the fish was cooked. Now I have put the cheese on, and it's not on the heat. I'm going to take it off the heat. We're just going to keep it on there long enough for the cheese to melt. But while the cheese is melting, I'm going to prep my fiesta salad. Now, what I have today are just grape tomatoes that have been cut in half. You could put anything you wanted in here. Actually, I probably should have done like some sliced tomatoes with cucumbers, which probably would make it even better. Because you'll notice I have a lot of tomatoes. I have tomatoes in the salsa. I have tomatoes in the salad. I have tomatoes in the salsa that's in the dressing. But let me go over my tomatoes and lycopene again. I mentioned it before in another show that I had. And I probably sounded a little skeptical about it because I don't think that the verdict is in on lycopene. It is a powerful antioxidant, and they are claiming that it is heavy in red foods such as tomatoes. Not all of them. Strawberries and cherries don't have lycopene, but tomatoes is very rich in lycopene, and it's a powerful antioxidant, and antioxidants are supposed to be very good for you. So I think there's enough evidence so that I believe it, but I don't want to give you any false information, so you can read up on it yourself. So I'm going to put a little bit of my dressing on. Now, if you think that this is too thick, you can use a little milk to make it a little bit thinner, or just use the sour cream. The mayonnaise makes it a little thick, plus the fact that there's quite a bit of salsa in here that really thickened it up. You can use less salsa if you'd like. Here we go. Okay, and I've got a little bit of Kalamata olives left over from my taco dip. So I'm going to just put those on, give it some color and that nice bite that I like. And I also have some green onions. I'm going to put those on. And there's our little fiesta salad. I just make that sit down there, take that off, bake it nice and pretty. And so I don't burn myself. There we go, my cheese is all melted. Now, to make this look good. Now, this particular recipe makes a little bit more rice than 2 of you will need. Matter of fact, I'm going to take a little of that out. Let me tell you what I do with that rice. Okay, oh, that looks so good. I probably put a little too much cheese on it. I love cheese. What I do with the leftover rice that's in here is I always have shrimp, frozen cooked shrimp in my freezer. You can take that and thaw it out and cut it up into chunks or leave them whole. Just make sure you take the tail off and mix it in with the leftover rice and use it and have it for lunch the next day. It probably will only get maybe just one serving out of that with the leftover rice. Or you can take the rice and have it cold and put it in, take a little piece of endive, some endive leaves, and just spoon it on and use that as an appetizer. All right, I'm going to decorate this because there's not enough green on this side of the plate. I haven't had this particular recipe in a while. All righty. And there we have it. My Spanish flounder and fiesta dressing. Isn't that lovely? And it's very hot. Okay, I am going to take a little taste of this if I can find my fork. And let's see if I can burn my mouth yet once again. Oh yeah, no, we're going to wait a little second. By the way, if you want a little bit of a different flavor to this, you could put some freshly chopped cilantro either in with the salsa when you're making the rice, or you can sprinkle it on top. But you want to be careful because some people are really opposed to the flavor of cilantro. I don't know if I told you this in one of my other shows, but I read an article that stated that some people are actually genetically made up so that cilantro tastes like soap. I don't know if that's true or not. Perfect flavors. A non-fish lover will love this because it doesn't have that real fishy taste. It's good. You need to try this one. I'll try a little bit of my tomatoes. Get all my lycopene. I should be antioxidant full by tonight. Perfect. Kind of cools down if you're going to have something hot here, that's spicy hot. Perfect. Okay, because we're still south of the border, I have to do something with a little bit of rum. So come back and I'm going to make my butter rum bananas over vanilla ice cream. See you in a minute. Okay, we can't go south of the border without having a little bit of rum in something. So my butter rum bananas, I'm going to put them on top of a lovely little creamy vanilla ice cream. So what we're going to do is I got this pan heating up a little bit, and I am going to put a tablespoon of butter. This is just like Bananas Foster, you know, it's just for two. And we're going to heat that up. And then I've got a tablespoon of brown sugar, and I only have dark brown sugar in my pantry. That's it. When you only have cooking for two people, you don't want to have light brown sugar, dark brown sugar, 15 different kinds of salad dressings, and 14 different kinds of cream cheeses. You got to try to make it so that you can utilize one thing for many things. So I'm just going to heat this up. I've got it on high. Now, if you're using your stove and you're putting the heat under it on high, you always have to be watching it, so you don't want to be burning the place down. All right, starting to melt, and as soon as it becomes like a little bit of a syrup, we'll be good. All right, now I'm going to turn that down to low and just let it sit there for a few minutes. That's it for that. Now, I've got one banana. Now, this is always an interesting thing. Everybody likes to eat their bananas differently. The girls at my office, we get into this discussion all the time about some people like it when they're all green, and some people like just a little green on the ends, and some people like it with no green, and some people like it when it's all yellow with a couple of brown spots, and it's a very interesting conversation. As a matter of fact, for those of you who knew Zedra Aronow, who used to write for the Springfield newspapers, we tried to get her to write a story about how people eat their bananas, but she didn't think it was going to be as funny as I thought it was going to be. But it really would. The conversations that we have at the office are very good. So this banana might be not quite ripe enough for you. It's actually not quite ripe enough for me, but it's perfect for this particular recipe. Because once you put it in the heat, they're gonna, get mushy. So you want them to be just a little bit less than ripe. So this is good. Now when you cut this, you can be fancy and, you know, go like this and put it at an angle. But let me tell you the problem with putting it at an angle like this. Unless you're going to serve the ice cream and the bananas on a plate, and you go to put the spoon on the ice cream, if you like, I'm going to serve it in a bowl. So if you go to take it and try to get the banana on the spoon, it's too big for the spoon and it goes falling off the spoon. It's the same thing as when you have a whole olive and you go to stick the fork in the olive and it goes flying off the plate, or a whole cherry tomato or a grape tomato, you go to put the fork in, it goes flying off the plate. If you're going to make this meal to impress somebody, you want to cut up the bananas a little bit smaller. Any way you can to make yourself look, you know, a little bit more dainty and elegant. So I'm just going to chop these. Nothing fancy, because when you see it done, it'll be lovely. Okay. And I like to get a large banana. You should have seen me trying to buy this banana for you so that it would look right, because I didn't want a medium-sized one, because it's for 2 people. You got to make sure it's enough. This one actually looks like it's probably going to be too big. Okay, we're all chopped up. I'm going to bring it over here. Let's see. Oh, we're good. All right, put all my bananas in here. You hear them starting to sizzle. Just stir this up good. I've got this on low, medium, low. I think I'm going to put it up a little higher. Very good. Now when I add the rum, you have to remember I have an electric glass stop. I haven't had any of this rum. An electric glass top stove. But if you've got a gas stove, you want to be really careful when you're putting any kind of alcohol. Also, when you're spraying any nonstick cooking spray, that has an alcohol propellant in it, and if you have a gas stove, you want to be very careful with that. I got to put this up a little higher. It's not sizzling enough for me. All right, we're getting syrupy now. Okay, so I'm going to take about 2 teaspoons. This is a tablespoon, so just put a little bit under that. And we'll put the whole tablespoon in. You don't need much. And we're just going to stir that up. Perfect. Smell that rum. I feel like I'm in Puerto Rico again. My husband and I love Puerto Rico. The reason why we love Puerto Rico is it has palm trees and warm weather, and you get on the plane, you get off the plane, there's no language barrier, no money barrier, no passports. We love Puerto Rico. The weather's great. The people there are very nice. Okay, now I'm just going to shut this off, and I'm going to let it sit there for a second while I get the ice cream out of the freezer. Now I did this for you. Put it on parchment paper. If you're having a guest for dinner that you're trying to impress, you don't want to be scooping out the ice cream, so just scoop it out before this person gets there and put it on parchment paper and just stick it in the freezer. So I'm going to take it and I'm going to put it, and the thing about parchment paper is it doesn't stick to the parchment paper. Put it in my little bowl, and it is stuck to the parchment paper. There we go. Okay. I'm going to get my bananas, which are perfect. Oh, look, perfect. Nice little syrupy. Okay, I'm just going to put half of it on one and half on another. This might be just a little bit too big of a banana. I'll be eating this part after. All right. And if you'd like to, you can garnish it with a little bit of pecans or pecans, whichever you want to say, tomato, tomato, whatever. Or if you'd like, you can put the pecans in when you're stirring up the butter and the sugar. And I like to do this. These are little cookies that are wafer thin with a little vanilla filling. They are a wonderful complement to any ice cream dish, and I think that doesn't look quite the way I like it to. So I'm going to put just a little stick in there. And there you have it. Butter rum bananas over vanilla ice cream. And this is a good one. Butter and rum just go together. That's good. I love ice cream. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed our little trip south of the border. Check with me again. Check my website, annstablefort2.com. Please email me at annstablefort2.com. It's ann@annstablefort2.com. And check out my website. And remember, when serving only two, there's no need to overdo. We'll see you on our next show. Thank you. Bye.